My name's Steve Troup, and I'm a consultant reproductive scientist who's worked in the field of assisted conception for over 30 years. And I've certainly seen some very significant changes in that time. It's my pleasure to introduce this series of videos discussing pre-implantation genetic testing for aneuploidy, PGT-A. And I do hope that you find them interesting and informative and useful. I'd like to start with this question, which was asked of me during a conversation with a colleague probably 7 or 8 years ago. He asked me, why would I transfer genetically abnormal embryos if I didn't have to? And at that time, although I agreed with the idea in principle, of course, a few things concerned me. Firstly, I wasn't entirely convinced that the evidence in support of PGTA or PGS, as it was then known, was sufficiently robust in terms of improving pregnancy or miscarriage rates. Secondly, although I'm not a geneticist, there seemed to be some technical issues with the testing methodologies that were used in terms of their reliability. There seemed to be a lot of false positives and false negatives, etc. Thirdly, again, as an embryologist, as the biopsy was performed largely on cleavage stage embryos, I guess it felt risky, I suppose, to be removing what seemed like a significant proportion of the embryo. And finally, all those years ago, it was very, very expensive for patients to have PGS. But that question, why would I transfer genetically abnormal embryos if I didn't have to, has stuck in my head ever since. And I now think that we are indeed in a position to routinely test embryos for aneuploidy, and that's what the following videos are all about. So firstly, let's take a look at what's happening in the UK at the moment. Currently, about 1 in 20 of all cycles performed in the United Kingdom include PGTA. But these numbers are rising. You can see here that the number of PGTA cycles has increased by nearly 30% between 2018 and 2019. And of course, as you'd expect, the number of embryos tested has also increased to over 10,000 embryos being tested in 2019. Similarly, the number of centres offering PGTA in the UK has increased, going from 30 in 2018 to 35 in 2019. And in fact, in 2020, there are a significant number of centres who've indicated that they are ready to start or keen to start PGTA. And indeed, if that comes to fruition, then approximately half of all the centres in the UK will be offering PGTA in their treatment portfolios. It's also interesting to note that the largest 3 fertility groups in the UK now offer PGTA at all of their clinics. So I guess that many people choosing to watch these videos will be considering setting up a PGTA programme in their own centres. And there is indeed quite a lot to think about. This slide perhaps covers the main headings as they slowly build, and hopefully the videos in this session will help you address most of what is on this slide. Unfortunately, at the moment, the UK, in a sense, has an elephant in its living room, and we face quite a challenging situation. The Human Fertilisation and Embryology Authority, the HFEA, which is the UK's regulator of assisted conception services, uses a traffic light rating system to provide information to patients about the benefits or otherwise of a number of so-called treatment add-ons, and these are listed on the slide here. You can see that PGTA, both performed on day 3 and day 5, is rated as red, meaning that in the opinion of the Scientific and Clinical Advances Advisory Committee of the HFEA, There's no evidence that the technique is effective or safe. Hopefully, after you've watched the following presentations, you'll be in a much better position to make your own mind up about this. And I must say that personally, I'm not entirely sure that I would be in full agreement with the HFEA's current position. So in these videos, we're aiming to tell you about some of the science and technology behind this technique. Importantly, the current state of evidence in support of PGTA, how to set up and run a PGTA program in your centre, what goes on behind the scenes when samples are sent off for genetic testing, dealing with regulation here in the UK. Very importantly, something to do with the genetic counselling around PGTA services, and of course how Cooper Surgery can help you to move forward in setting up a PGTA service. So I'll finish there, and I do hope that you enjoy the following presentations. Thank you.